Hi, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. As you know, we are not live today because unfortunately I've got to go to work. Boo! So while you're watching this, I shall be looking after some lovely people, and they'll be making my day with their wonderful stories. But my guest that I've got for you this week is my lovely friend Sue Allsworth. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning, Claire. Thank you for inviting me.
That's okay. You're very welcome. Now, Sue owns a company called Authentic Smile, and it's all about being your best self, having your best life. And she's got a series of books, and she runs summits, and she does all sorts of things, which she's going to talk to you in a minute about it. I've particularly asked her on to talk to us about chakra dancing, which is something I've heard of. I've not been to one of Sue's chakra dancing, so she might tell me off, but we won't tell her that. Okay. But obviously this week we've been talking about chakras, so that's what we are going to talk about. But Sue, can you tell us what it is you do? Because you do all sorts of things. Chakra dancing is just one of the many facets of your awesomeness.
Yes, I wear many hats, but I think variety is the spice of life. They're all kind of like interlinked, and I can link them all in different ways. So it's not as if I'm, what's that phrase, sort of the master of something
Oh,
and
jack of all trades, master
trades
of
and master
none.
of none. Yeah.
Yeah. You could
So
be master of all trades, darling. Who cares?
yes, I know. So the Authentic Smile started as a life coaching business, and from that also then grew workbooks. No, I wouldn't say reading books. If you want a reading book, then don't come to me. Go to somewhere else, because mine are definitely more doing books, because I think
Definitely.
that's what I was missing along my journey. And I'll go into it a bit more detail in a minute. But one happens to be Journal Journey with Your Chakras.
Uh-huh.
uh, I know you've been doing the creativity book,
Yes, I
and
have.
they are
I love it.
more feelings boards, vision boards, journaling in a different way and in many different ways. And then I've always been interested in the chakras, and I haven't got it ready here, but actually, it's probably in this book. An image came my way once, which kind of helped me really understand the chakras a little bit more. And I don't know if any of you know of the Maslow hierarchy
Yeah, I do.
triangle.
Triangle.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
there's actually, it's not very clear here,
Oh
a
yeah, I get it.
chakra version. And
Ooh.
it really sort of then splits up, and it was just like the human side of me was like, okay, the human and spiritual can get on board and mix now, because they're kind of blending. So Maslow's pyramid of needs, you've got number one is physiological. So your shelter, your food, your basic needs, that's your root chakra.
Yeah.
So without realizing it, Maslow was kind of actually talking about the chakras as well, but
Who
without
knew? Who knew?
who knew. So it that really intrigued me. And so I've
Sorry,
really
Sue. Can I just interrupt you? We're being photo bombed by a cat who's having it. So I'm just going to push the cat one. Gently remove the cat. Come on, darling.
photo bombing. I love that.
I know. We're being cat bombed. Oh, we're having a
Cat
small
bombed.
riot.
Yeah, cat bombed. I like it.
Cat bomb. There you go, Bubba. Go on, good girl. Sorry about that. Otherwise, she'll just. I always get. There's usually George. George usually comes and puts his bottom in the middle of in any Zoom, as you know. You usually see a cat's bum, but she'd found a plastic bag and was having a good old rummage, and I was there going, awesome. Anyway, sorry. Back to Maslow, being the first chakra dancing theorist of all time.
Oh yeah, I
Sorry,
know.
Sue.
Who'd have thought? So, and I've done chakra, done the books, I've done some cards and different things, and I think it was in 2017, I came across a chakra dancing facilitator and meditation course. And I just thought, you know what? One, that would be good fun for me to do as a retreat, just for my own personal self.
Yeah.
And two, it gives me a piece of an insurance to actually do movement, because I'm insured to do a lot of different things. I'm also, in theory, a massage therapist, a reflexologist. I've done all of these different things in the past. But the one thing, and I didn't want to go into yoga or anything like that, but I wanted a bit of insurance so that I could do some movement with people, because obviously mind, body, soul,
Yeah.
as the summits that I run, it's that triangle again. I like triangles, don't I like the three, which actually does make sense, because there's just me, my mum and my dad, so it's the point of
Yeah.
that threesome, isn't it? And I don't normally like odd numbers.
I thought you could
So
say you normally like threesomes. So that's a whole different conversation. Sorry, straight to the base chakra there.
I was like, once upon a time, then the mind goes, no, come back to the room.
Reel it back in.
I am a lovely, sane person, honestly, really. So yeah, so I went off and did that, and I was actually caring. I was a carer back then, and I was caring heavily for someone, so it was a bit of a break for me as well, just to let me. And the rule about chakra dancing is there is no rule. So in theory, it's one of the easiest things to do, because it is in theory freestyle dancing. I have chakra dancing tracks from the teacher, Liz. You can find them all. You can download all the chakra dancing music from chakradancing.co.uk. Lizzie Whitaker, I think, if I remember her name is, was my teacher. And she was the one that had put together all the chakra dancing CDs and music. So the root chakra's got quite often a more drummy tribal vibe to it. The sacral chakra's got its own sort of flow to it. As you're going up the chakras, they become a bit calmer to the crown, where you're sort of more just not necessarily moving, but just sitting in that stillness. So I like the theory of that. Although I sometimes work from crown and go to root, because I like to shake things up and be a rebel. But what I have found when I've done the chakra dancing, especially actually as I've changed it and moved it recently onto online as well, it's a way of, firstly, it's a way of you tuning into your body. So although it's called chakra dancing, I actually say chakra movement, because the whole idea of it is we do meditations for our mind, we do journaling and different things, but actually, and we do yoga and different things. But the one thing that the people have said who have come to the chakra dancing sessions is it's actually really refreshing, but also a bit awkward when they're just allowed to have to tune into their own body and do whatever it is the body wants to move, rather than in a class, in a yoga or Pilates or anything like that. You're structured and you're told each position to do and for how long. Whereas sometimes your body might want to surrender to a position in yoga or Pilates longer. I mean, the amount of times I've gone to yoga sessions and I am not up with the flow and keeping in with what the teacher's doing, because my body's going, actually, can we just stay here for a bit longer? And I know myself and my body well enough to know, do you know what it doesn't matter what they're saying. Actually, this is yoga, and all of these practices are actually about you listening to within. And if you don't honor listening to within and act on that, then you're just sort of, you're stepping out of that authenticity, aren't you? That flow.
Yeah, definitely.
And then obviously by doing it online now, it means that people don't have to have their camera on, or they can have their camera on and they can step out of the way to dance so that they don't have to be seen. So again, you're building up that confidence at the end of the day, as long as you're doing it. But people have said it's, do you know what? I wasn't expecting this to be quite, it's not as easy as you think, because I'm having to really listen to my body and my body's needs. Because I say, if you're sometimes when I was doing a chakra dancing session the other week online, the root chakra music comes on, I'm like, oh, I love this music. I love the tribal drumming and everything. My body's right into it. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, I'm injured. I've got a leg problem. I can't do this the way that I would normally do this. But they're watching me and wanting someone to perform, shall we say. And I can't do what you may have seen necessarily, because I've got chakra dancing on YouTube channel. So I've done some demonstrations through root through to the crown, so people can see me prancing around like a plum fairy, basically.
So is it real? Is it? I mean, I've got 2 left feet. Yeah, unless I've had a serious amount of wine, then I'm Pan's people personified. For those of you who aren't as old as me, I think I'm it when I've had a couple of glasses of wine. But I'm not a huge dancer. I don't dislike it, but and if I'm thinking for people that are perhaps not fit and are bigger people that are, it's not just the self-conscious, it's
no, it's a
is
perfect
it
thing.
very heavy on the movement?
No, it can be it can be as much or as little as you want.
Okay.
So if you are, for example, I have worked with people who are chair bound.
Yeah.
But if you can still move your arms, you're still moving.
Yes. Okay. And that's cardiovascular actually. So that's quite good.
Your body, this part of your body can still get in to, I've got music going on in my head at the moment. So if you're just wondering what I'm doing this to, but if you want to stretch, so when it says dancing, but I say movement, listen to your body of what it needs. Sometimes I need to just sit on the floor and do some yoga stretches, but it enables me to meditate. I find music quite meditative.
Yeah.
So it gets me into a zone.
Yeah.
Even if I can't sing because there's no words as such, it gets me into a zone so that I can then just, instead of quietening the mind, I'm quietening the body, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, okay, do you know what? So I'm slowly starting to move, but then by slowly moving, I'm like, oh, hello. Okay, need to do a bit of, could do with a bit of stretch. Oh, hang on, actually, I've got a bad leg today. I can't push myself. And it is learning to listen to our bodies so that we are not pushing it any more than it needs to be, and allowing it to just be what it needs to be. Some days it's you want to jump and whatever around and again, dancing at the end of the day is that's everyone's version. There's no, we're not going to be doing the mash. If you want to sit there and do the mashed potato and everything, then that's entirely up to you. But again, if you're in
which chakra would that be?
Which chakra would that be? That's a good point. Actually, because I'm doing it around that area, I would say it's probably either solar plexus or the heart chakra there.
I hope someone is one day going to turn up at one of your chakra dancing things and do the mashed potato. Please let me know if that happens.
Or the Macarena, if you want to do the Macarena.
Yeah. That's quite lively and spicy, isn't it? It's so do they
different music. So I've actually got I don't know if I can quickly do this because I think
I was going to say, have you got some music you could share with us first?
Here's something I think I tried earlier, or I got ready. This is the solar plexus. So, and it's called Walk Your Talk, because that solar plexus is that confidence, that powerhouse of who, that fear.
Yeah, feeling it in your stomach.
Go yellow, go yellow, go yellow, go yellow.
So you don't have to be standing to move.
No, that's I was just sitting there. I don't know if you saw, I had a little tiny bop in my chair, not as lively as you. I think if I was in my house on my own watching you and I wasn't, filming this, I might be going, yeah, okay, let's give that a go. Because it's so this is something. How long has this been around, chakra dancing?
That's a good question. Lizzie, who is my trainer, there's also a chakra dance which is Australian. Probably shouldn't mention that. That's mentioning the competition. But there's chakra dance which comes from Australia, chakra dancing, and it was just something Lizzie had worked with chakras and again used to dance and wanted to make music. It was something that she kind of kind of like my journal journey book series and everything.
Yeah.
It's come under her own umbrella sort of thing, and put together her knowledge of what she's done over the years with chakras and meditation and different things. And the benefits are amazing because, you know, how good do you feel once you've been for a dance? Whether it is at a
Yeah.
nightclub, whether it's with just some friends, whether it's just on your own, because a favorite tune on the radio's come on and it's got you sort of like moving around doing the housework, you know, but bopping your stuff, you know, you
Yeah.
might be doing
Yeah.
your you know,
Sing
it gets you in the mood.
along. But you do, and there are certain songs that make you just go, oh yeah. And I suppose I mean, songs are very what's the word? They you know, they can make you think of a split second in time, can't they? They're very powerful. So as you know, a song can bring back a memory of childhood, of sad times, happy times. Yeah, it was the breakup song that you sat and booed your eyes to, or it was your wedding song, all those sorts of things, and they must elicit different emotions that obviously are felt throughout the various chakras. And obviously, as we know, that the chakras are all concerned with different emotions, aren't they? So
Emotions, physical connection.
yeah.
And the good thing about the chakra dancing music to some degree is you won't have heard this music before. So you've got actually no attachment to it. So instead of
Okay.
so another way of looking at it is when you're chakra dancing, you're coming in almost you've got to just tune into what your body is feeling there and then. It's not that music. The sort of music might evoke some different feelings, but it's not exactly a song. Like you're not going to listen to the, you know, I Will Always Love You. Whitney Houston will always bring some certain emotions straight away into people, either of joy or sadness, probably. Whereas this music, it's instrumental. Most of it, there is some where Lizzie is on it as well, but it's neutral in the sense that this is your time to just come along, get into the music. If you were like, you know, if you liked your trance music from the 90s and things like that,
Yeah.
of just getting into that music, the music itself had nothing attached to it, really. It was just how it made you, the rhythm in itself, how it makes you feel rather than the
Yeah.
words. And it just really does get you to have to tune into your body. That's got its benefits in the first place because our bodies is quite often mind and soul we tune into more regular than necessarily our bodies. We just take them for granted that they're just going to carry us around and take all the physical, emotional stress, and we just store it all in. And so it does need a release, and it needs that acknowledgement. And yeah, the amount of, and by actually doing it on Zoom, though when I probably won't go back to physical classes because doing it on Zoom, it means that I've got people from Norway, I've got people from Europe, you know, you've got
Wow.
all people can find it on YouTube, found me on YouTube and then come to the classes. So, but if I go back to a physical class, I'm cutting out quite a lot of
Yeah.
clientele, so to speak. So,
And is
and
it sorry, interrupting you there.
yeah.
Is it all sorts of people that are interested in it? It's not sort
Yes.
of all super fit
No,
27-year-olds.
no. To be fair, this is not anything about. It is about fitness, but not in the fitness sense that we
Yeah.
relate fitness. The fact that you're moving, it is good for your joints. It is good for your heart. It is good for your muscular system, your respiratory system. It is good. Any form of movement is good for your body.
Mm.
So, but again, even if some days I'm like, I really want to get into the zone, but I'm not feeling in a hip hoppity, bubbly, bounce up and down mood today. So I'm on the floor for all of it. And I'll be on the floor and just do and use it as kind of like my yoga. I've done enough yoga over the years that I know enough yoga myself. But
Yeah.
instead of following on YouTube or somewhere someone's routine, I can put the music on
Yeah.
and think, right, okay, I know I'm at the root chakra now. So let's focus on the root chakra area. Let's just tune into that. Okay, now what? Oh, my hips feel a bit tight. So I'm going to do some hip flexors. I'm going to do some different twists and yoga positions that I know that can move into that. And then when it goes into the sacral chakra, you can tune into that, the sacral chakra. Okay, what do I need to do for my core today? So you
Okay.
can move through and again, it doesn't matter. As I say, I've done this with people who are elderly or disabled and wheelchair bound. And what you can also add to it, which I used to do with the physical ones, they're in a box probably 1 minute.
Okay. This is fascinating. I mean, I had visions of having sort of set dances to various pieces of music, and right, we're going to deal with the root chakra. Oh, ribbons. Okay.
So
Yeah, I think it's very different to what I'd imagined. So
when I was doing physical classes, I've got a box of goodies. I've got some instruments because, especially for the throat chakra, we need to, vocalize. So I say with chakra dancing, it's not just about the movement of your body, it's also the movement of your voice as well. If you feel the need to make noises through it, do so, because that again is releasing. It's quite often, if I'm in the heart chakra area, I know what noise will come out of me, which is because it's my little, or the solar plexus, because that is my party, get into my confidence zone sort
that's
of
awesome.
zone. But if I'm in, I might be wanting to just go and go really deep and bring that out of my throat chakra. So I've got some, I always say to people, if you've got instruments, it's not here, I've got a drum, which we all use quite often. In your pagan world, you've got a lot of drummers.
Yeah.
So you use your drum to get into the beat with it as well, a triangle, whatever. And I have bought different little cloths, all the chakra colors. So again, when
I remember you saying, actually,
when you're doing with that chakra, you can just have that. I've got some little these little skirty things that are like what limbo-y dancer type, with little bells, little jingly things.
Right, like belly dancers have.
Yeah, so you can put them over your trousers or what have you, but I've got them in all different colors. So if I wanted to feel a bit more feminine, maybe one day with my dancing, I'll put one of them on so I can shimmy and shake. And yeah, as I say, and all of these I've got from a lovely online outlet that's rather big and begins with the first letter, the same letter as my surname, so you can work that one out. And it's got a smile in its logo as well, actually.
But we do like independent sailors too.
Obviously. So if anyone else can do these, but yeah, I mean, if you've got the room when I'm around,
coloured scarves will work, won't they? Coloured scarves or bits of material. Do you think there's a sort of obviously, because the different colours resonate at different pitches, don't they? And the chakras as well. I don't know an awful lot about it. Do you think that's part of it?
I think there's, I haven't gone into the details. I know that with the music that Liz has done, she's done them at different
frequencies, the hertz frequencies.
Yeah, for the different chakras, because obviously, your root chakra is earth. That is its element. Whereas
that feels quite, if you were to ask me to make a noise for earth, I would be like, oh, it would be deep and whoa.
But if I then said make a noise to connect to with your crown chakra,
it
would be a lot more that more higher pitched, sort of ethereal, sort of, that connection. So again, it's connecting with all these different things, or you don't have to connect and know that much at all. The beauty is just know where your chakras are with chakra dancing and tune in. And it doesn't, any music you can find at the end of the day instrumental, and there's lots of chakra music on YouTube as well, but it is just tapping into it's enabling you that safe space, because we obviously in a group, when we do it, we share in between. I do a meditation at the beginning. I always say to people, funnily enough, have a pen and journal, because if there's anything in between the chakras that you want to write down, that something's revealed itself from that root chakra to you, then jot it down, because you won't necessarily remember it at the end. But you know me, I'm always going to say to people, have a pen and journal.
Always going to say journal. I think that should go on your gravestone. Journal.
Journal. Sue journaled.
Not that I'm killing you off. Okay, so that's really interesting. So how can people get hold of, so you've got a YouTube channel, and I know you've got a website and Facebook page, so can you just give us a few of those details so people can find you?
So if you want to see me shaking my booty and having
A sight to behold.
yeah, a sight to behold. Do you know what? Basically, just before lockdown, actually, I knew, I was like, I need to do some chakra dancing. I need to shake some stuff off. Hadn't done it for a while. And I thought, do you know what? Actually, if I'm doing this, I might as well record it and put it on YouTube. So it's very basic in my first stages of recording. And it was just on a whim. So it's me doing my own little thing, but just a little bit extra for people. So you can actually
that's lovely,
see,
because that was you doing it for you, for the real purpose of it, not and that's, I mean,
I'm not dancing to try and impress. I'm just I am literally going my little zone, and I kind of forget that there's the camera there. And sometimes I'm like, oh, perhaps then the talk comes in, doesn't it? The inner talk. Oh, I should be moving more to show them more. At the end of the day, it is all about just tuning in to where you need to be at. So you can find that all out on Authentic Smile YouTube channel. Yeah. And I've got from root to crown, just one of the tracks. So there's one of everything, but there's a lot more music I use in the groups. The classes as of December and next year especially are moving over into the Mind, Body, Soul studio.
Ooh.
Which, yes. So I run Mind, Body, Soul summits. I've been doing that this year. Again, you've been on them. So
yeah,
you know
I've been in them. Yeah.
And the whole idea again of that is we're in different situation. I am not one about worrying about what I can't sit here and think, well, I can't do this now, and I can't be doing with that. It's like, well, okay, I can't do that. Accept it, move on. How can I do new things?
What can I do instead?
Old things in new ways. So I produce the summits online so that we could still all do what we do on a safe platform. Definitely social distancing is involved in this one. And yet we can still all get together as a group, professionals, and do what we do. And so and that's 4 times a year. So that next year, that'll be in February, May, August, November. It's got its own website, mindbodysoulsummits.com.
Okay.
So you can find out all the details for future events there. But in January, the December one is a summit, but I'm including the studio just so that gives people a little bit of a flavour. So the studio, just like your community centre, will have different people, all with their own classes, some pre-recorded, some live, that are only out once they've been on. That's it. You don't get replays, because I want a safe space if they're live for sharing and everything else. So it's very different to the summits, which is all recorded, replays and everything. So this one, just like you turn up to if you don't turn up to your yoga session at the community centre, you don't say, could I have a recording of that one, please? Could
you all do it later on? I'm not going to be there till half 8. Yeah. So just 7. Yeah.
And the whole idea, the studio is called Get in the Habit, because we need to get into the habit. We could all it's all free on YouTube, but we don't do it because it's not a set time. It's not a habit. We're not making ourselves accountable, are we? Yeah. So it's like, oh, it's on YouTube. It's always there. I'll do it tomorrow.
And there's always a reason why you can do it tomorrow, where actually, if you would go to, like you say, the community hall, the village hall. I mean, obviously I know about this because we've spoken about it before, but I didn't think about it like that. But that is like an online community hall, isn't it? with things there. And if you are going every Tuesday at 7, then you're going to show up, aren't you?
Yeah.
And that's what you're getting the habit, is showing up, isn't it? Okay.
I'm moving the chakra dancing into there. So it runs on you can just buy tickets for the chakra dancing. You could, as I say, the studio, it's not just unlike the summits, it's a one price for everything that's involved in that summit. The studio is, I know you're running your time to talk sessions on there. Now you're doing that as a free community project. So that is a free ticket. So there's some events that are going to be free. There's some things that are going to be paid for, just like, because at the end of the day, I know money's tight for everyone, but it's tight for us all. And we still all need to earn money. So
definitely.
It's not just, I always look at things like this, that it's an investment for yourself when you pay for these things, but you're actually investing in someone else's life and putting food on their table.
Yeah, because although you haven't got to pay that space for the community hall, it's a bit of airspace to pay for, and then, and a fair exchange of time and effort and everything. Some things can be free, some things should be free, but other things are, you've had to train and you've had to do things. So that's really fascinating. So I'll have to so I don't have to prance around like a mad thing. I can just quietly move in the corner.
And this is it. You can turn. I always say to people, when you're dancing, we're on a web. It's a Zoom web. It will actually be on a Zoom webinar platform.
Yeah.
So
you can put your picture up instead of your film, can't you?
People would have to give me permission to go on video anyway, because as you know, on a Zoom webinar, participants don't initially come on, not like a group meeting like this. But the platform that I'm using, it means that I can see everyone in the chat box. Everyone can anyone want to come on video, raise your hand. So whoever raises their hand comes in. If not, you can just stay, but you can then be as involved, and you might do a few sessions and then think, actually, I'm ready to go on video. Or put your video on, and as I say, dance to the side. Now you see me, now you don't, sort of thing, and then come back in. Yeah, that's the one. But even when you see, because I've got space in here, so when I'm in the group, I'm like, people think I will suddenly go off camera. So because I'm also doing it myself.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to just sit there and watch everyone for 10 minutes, however long each track is.
But it's not interactive then, is it?
So I need to be involved, and I will just go off to my room, and because I've got, as you know, it's a garage. But if I just quickly do a quick
room.
I've got a
lovely space.
I've got space, so it's kind of like I want to use it. So I encourage people, don't worry about staying on the camera. And as I say, if you are of any disability, this is what I love about this. This is not about physical able people. This is for anyone. If you can even just tuning into the music puts you into a different meditative state. You don't have to overly move. As I say, even unless you are absolutely paralyzed, then you've got some form. Even if you're just sitting there into the music and doing some neck stretches. And I know that I need to do that. I can feel the tightness even now. So again, it's really about allowing yourself to tune into your body with no restrictions on how you need to move your body. You need to be responsible to not move your body in inappropriate ways.
Which you know yourself, don't you? So you can do that, and you haven't got to do something that is going to strain yourself in any way.
And because I've got the journal journey with your chakras book, and I've done the chakra cards as well. So
you've got chakra. I've got some of your chakra cards. Are you going to do a card for us? Would you do us a card?
I love the chakra cards. I would love to be able to say that I can take credit for the lovely illustrations on these cards, but I really can't. But I can take creative. I had to find them and select which ones go.
Yes, no, that was part of the creative process. So what are your chakra cards, Sue? Because obviously I know about them because you gifted me a set, which was really, really lovely, didn't you, ages ago?
Because you're lovely.
It was for bed and breakfast purposes, I believe.
So they come in a deck. There is 49 to a deck because there's 7 of each chakra.
Yep.
Yes. So I've gone for the 7s on that one. So 7 root. You can either split them up and do a 7-card reading, or if you want a specific chakra, sacral, whatever, or you can just pop them all together. These are all double-sided. They're quite big, actually, because
they are big, aren't they?
This is another deck of cards that I've produced, and that's kind of like your normal size deck. So if I hold that up to that, they're just a little bit, not too bad, but just a little bit bigger.
They got a lot on them, though, haven't they?
They have. You've got the image on one side, just to give this as an example, and then writing on the back. And there's a bit that says "For my journal." So again, these cards you will need a, guess what, journal and pen, because whatever it is that I do with the books, the chakra dancing, for me, it is all about, I want to empower people to learn to listen to yourself. I do not have any of your answers. I struggle with my own answers.
That's right.
But I can, all of these self-care, self-help, goddess, everything is there to help, support.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're the only one who can listen, tune into your heart and listen to know what is going on. You're the only one who can tune into your conflict. You're the only one who can tune into your fear, your happiness, your joy, whatever it is, because all emotions to me are the same. They're just a different experience. So the whole idea of these is, again, they're not cards that if you're, if you want cards that they're going to sit there and tell you all that you want to hear, go and buy a deck of them. I'd suggest, because these ones are going to invite questions. So let's go for it.
Okay.
I'm just going to.
Is this for me?
I'm just going to do a general one. I think,
go for it.
For every goddess who is watching this at any point. So as everyone who knows,
but maybe people could post up what it brings up for them. That'd be really cool, because I know I'm going to revisit the page when I get back from work, and I know you'll tune in and have a look and see,
So my habit for card picking is I shuffle until the right card comes. Sometimes that can be a little while, so I'm just going to go, right, universe, what is it that we need? What would you like to share with us and the group and the goddesses today? And hopefully then a whole handful fall out. Claire, give me a number between 1 and 4.
4.
So 4 cards fell out, you see, at that point.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with this one, sacral.
Create. Okay. So that is the sacral chakra.
Orange is the sacral chakra. So creativity links in with the sacral chakra, because the element of the sacral chakra is water, which is constantly fluid.
Flowing,
Emotions, that's why it's your emotions are there in your sacral chakra, because everything is constantly changing, it's fluid. So that's why. So it says here, create. What kind of world and life experiences are you creating around you?
Ooh.
Because and this is relating to what's going on and what's not. There's always something going on in the world that we cannot control.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean to say that you can't control what kind of life experiences and what kind of world you want to create within that world that you can't control. Definitely. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because you can't control what's going on. What you can control is how you deal with it to an extent, and how you reflect it back out, that kind of thing. You know, and obviously some things happen and you have no control over, and you are, for all intents and purposes, a pawn in that thing happening. But if you own and take responsibility for how you talk, how you deal with it, and it's not always about being positive, because sometimes things are just negative, and you need those tears, you need that grief, you need that anger, but being aware of it. And for me, for that is, I definitely know I've made changes in the world around me to have the world I want. That, and I know obviously in an ideal world we'd all be healthy and happy, and there wouldn't be poverty, and there wouldn't be arseholes going around gunning people down and things. But in my world is one of that I've created around me, is one where I have people that I love and love me. It's one where I respect people and they respect me, and and I'm doing jobs I love. I'm in relationships I love, and that's what I mean by that. Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely. I mean, for me, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, easier said than done, because obviously we're thrown lots of emotions, and this isn't about ignoring the I don't like the word negative, the more what I call heavier emotions, the more heavier vibration ones. But at the end of the day, whatever is thrown at you, you can choose in that moment on how you want to perceive that. Even if it is, I can remember something that happened to me in Peru. I was walking along a street late at night, maybe under the influence, shouldn't have been, with another gringa, another colleague, white person out there. We were stuck out like a sore thumb. So, and we met someone who decided to that would, I was the smallest one, who would try to put themselves on me. Now, I could go into pure panic, pure whatever. I was in instinct. Don't want this to happen to my friend. I and in that moment, I just realized that, do I agree to this? No. But can I really control it? Because he's very strong. No. So what can I do? I can send my friend off to get help while whatever. But I was like, actually, do you know what? And I can remember surrendering in that moment to create the world I wanted. And I said to my friend, he can touch my body, but he can't touch my soul. So you go and get help. I'm okay. And as soon as I said those words, this guy didn't know what I was saying because it was in English and he's Spanish. I surrendered in that moment. I created what I wanted to happen. And he got spooked and just suddenly ran off.
Wow.
Because it was that, do you know what? Actually, it wasn't surrender as in I'm giving permission. Surrender. Do you see where there's a difference? I was surrendering to that moment. Okay, right, this is my situation. What am I going to do? What can I do? How can I choose to react about this? And very quickly I'd worked out, well, physically I can get over anything. He can only damage me emotionally if I allow him to. That's not going to happen because I've just made that choice.
And I suppose your lack of fear probably spooked him. He probably thought you've got an army behind you.
Well, actually, no one will believe me, and I wouldn't have believed me if it wasn't for the fact that I did have a friend with me. And the next day, I was like, "Did you know what happened?" At a particular time, we were in the middle of this long road, and literally, the only way I can describe it is a Peruvian-looking Jesus kind of bloke suddenly came out of nowhere, freaked the guy, and then as we turned around to say thank you to this person, he wasn't there. But that happened as soon as the words of surrender came out of my mouth.
Wow. We could talk all day about that. I might have to discuss that with you at a later date, my darling.
But I don't expect anyone to believe me, because even now I look back at it and I'm like,
Jesus. That's not what I was expecting today.
But you
never know where things are going.
No. but it's about that, you can't control sometimes what is going on around you, but you can control and create your outlook on how you want it to be. And sometimes that pure surrender, that 100%, and it's the weirdest time for me to ever have had a 100% surrender moment, to be honest, but it is the universe does listen. And it's there. So here we go. It says on the back, creating the life you desire is your birthright.
Yeah.
Stop comparing and start daring to create your life. Think outside the box. There's no law saying we have to be the same. We are all unique for a reason. And then it says, for my journal, what I really want to create in my life is ...
Oh, that's So I think I kind of answered that earlier on about creating your own life, creating what it is you want. And I think that's when you let go of comparing. That's when you let go of feeling envious that people have got things, because you've actually gone, well, actually, I would like that, so I'm going to make that happen. So,
and I always say to people, how's trying to be someone else going for you?
Very witty. I like that. Well, that's fabulous. Thank you so much, Sue.
Does it work out for you?
Yeah. What, trying to be someone else? I wouldn't have thought that does. No. So we're gonna go now. But if you want to pop in there and pop down, your replies to that, I know I'd be fascinated, and I'm sure Sue would as well. And I might revisit that and think about that and tap something in when I get back from work. So thanks so much for joining me, Sue. And people, if they want to chat with you, they can find you
on Facebook, on Authentic Smile, Sue Allsworth, or the Mind Body Soul Summits page on Facebook. I'm kind of a little bit everywhere. So put in Authentic Smile in Google and you will find me.
We will find you. Well, brilliant. Thank you so much, Sue. Thanks for joining me. And thanks for joining us, everybody. And I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye, everyone.